What's going on, people? Hope you're all well. Very excited to check out this brand new album and a debut album from an artist that I am very, very familiar with. But obviously, this is a debut album, so you might be asking, Drew, how are you familiar with a debut artist? Doesn't make any sense. Well, I'll tell you. This is Daniel Tompkins of TesseracT's new project with Chimp Spanner. Now, I'm not too familiar with Chimp Spanner's individual work. However, obviously very, very familiar with Dan's. I've also listened to the two singles that were released. Horizon was the first one with Daedric as a feature, and Jaded Mantra was the second single, which I checked out, and now it is album time. Very excited to check this one out. It's 46 minutes long, 12 songs long. The Jaded Mantra track is absolutely phenomenal. One of the best vocal performances I've heard from Dan, and that is saying something because that man has had some incredible vocal performances across the board. Now, the only thing that instantly I'm a little bit disappointed by is the fact that I've heard the final song. I'm never the biggest fan of albums including a single as the outro track, because to me, with albums, the intro, the initial impressions, and the outro, the lasting impressions and what you'll take with you going forward are very important. Now, at least Jaded Mantra is phenomenal, and musically it makes sense as a crescendo because of Dan's amazing vocal performance on it. However, imagine I hadn't heard that, and then I hear that now after listening through hopefully a really good album, and then you just get like that like massive crescendo moment at the end of the album that you're like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just listen to? And even if the album isn't like the best thing in the world, I think having that lasting impression, that last song on the album, if you listen to albums from start to finish, I know a lot of people don't consume music like that anymore, but to me, it's very important. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, the intro, The Glass Veil. Haven't heard this one. I've liked the two tracks just to kind of give you guys a visual representation of where we are in terms of what we've seen. I will like the songs as we go, depending on whether or not I actually think I'll listen to them again. So you'll see, again, a visual representation of like how I'm getting along with the album as we go. I'll try and keep the pausing to a minimum. Maybe between tracks, we'll have a little chat if there's something to say. But otherwise, let's jump into this one. Very excited. Prince of Failure's debut album, Prince of Failure. Lyrically and conceptually, I know that this is Dan being very vulnerable. I know he's spoken very openly about his ongoing battles over the years with himself and like his own mind and like feeling a little bit isolated and feel like he doesn't really fit in. And then he's gone on to kind of mention that he's, I believe, recently been diagnosed with ADHD, which has kind of changed his entire perspective on his life. And he's now kind of coming to terms with that. And almost like I'm putting words in his mouth here, but I suppose kind of like being reborn, because now you have this entirely new perspective on life and everything that has been a thing in your past. And all of a sudden you're looking at situations a little bit differently, which is a very cool concept. And I think Prince of Failure is his way of getting all of that out. And this will be his project for that. So let's go. Very excited about this one. Prince of Failure, debut album, Prince of Failure. Dan Tompkins and Chimp Spanner. Let's go. If there are lyrics available, I will pull them up for you guys, but at the moment, there is none. I'll try and keep up to date with the lyrics, because again, like I mentioned, it's obviously a very vulnerable project, and I think lyrically, this will be important to listen to. And also, I feel like there's just like intrinsically going to be like Tesseract lore in here, because it's Dan's mind, and he's obviously writing in Tesseract as well, so... Very cool sound design kicking us off. Cinematic. I'm getting kind of like, I want to say, Middle Eastern, kind of almost like Egyptian, The Mummy Returns vibes or something. I don't know. I'm thinking of The Mummy, the movie. Just imagine being around pyramids or something. The Glass Veil. What could that mean? Glass is shatterable. A veil that's covering something that can be broken. Maybe his perception of himself. I'm sure more lyrics will give us more context. Dream Stealer. I like the intro. Not really a playlistable song because it's like 1.5 minutes long, but I really enjoyed it. Hopeful piano keys. Contrasted by the distortion rising. Oh, we have lyrics. Amazing. This is very on the nose lyrically about what I was talking about with finding himself. Oh, a little key shift. That was interesting. Breaking Benjamin-esque here. What the fuck? Like raw, very Breaking Benjamin to me. Sort of like harmonics in the guitars there, I think, as like an additional layer in the background. Very subtle. Wow, man. Oh man, I like very intentionally all about I, and like another being, almost like this dream stealer, as if it's like almost implying that it's someone else. and then the crescendo with every breath we take. That may be like acceptance of, with the ADHD diagnosis that Dan was talking about, and that he did speak about even with us on the Metal Roundup podcast. And I seen him, he did a recent podcast that I haven't finished yet, but it is with the metal therapist, where he kind of discusses these themes a little bit more. So I'm not going to go too deep into the themes. I'll kind of give my interpretation of it. But again, having that kind of background knowledge and the understanding of, where Dan's coming from and his recent, I suppose, unveiling of pardon the reference to the veil, but unveiling this, I guess, new perspective on his own life is definitely adding to this experience, even musically. Musically, it's great. It's like weird because it's like uncanny valley, because it feels like it's almost like a Tesseract song by design, not even just from Dan, but like instrumentally there's moments, but it has more of a maybe like kind of modern pop. It has like pop sensibilities at times, and then also like the guitar playing is obviously going to be slightly different because it's not Tesseract, but it's still in many ways kind of props up Dan's vocals in certain shifts. But I think like I think there was like a tapping lead guitar towards the end that was definitely like not very Tesseract to me. So it's nice because it's recognizable because of Dan being such a prominent force in this, but also it's not just like a Tesseract take two, which would be a little bit disappointing, I think, because we already have Tesseract. We don't need another Tesseract. So yeah, this is definitely one of those things that like Chimp Spanner is there to prop up the incredible vocal ability of Dan, which is already on display. So I'm very excited to continue with this one, but also the themes are quite interesting. I'm glad we have the lyrics available to us. So let's keep going. So yeah, my take is that he's kind of now accepted it. I guess he's aware of the fact that it's we, like it's him. It's not two people. It's a joint venture that himself, like maybe prior to this diagnosis and like dealing with himself as the Prince of Failure for his whole life. It's a very interesting concept. This is what I mean. This is not very Tesseract here, which is cool. Bam, 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 bam. Ooh. It's such a blend of like all his previous, like even the Zeta, the like synthwave project and everything. Almost like Loathe-esque with the little dead note transition. Or Thornhill almost. The way they've got that guitar tune tells me that we're going to get a chunky break in this song. You can almost hear it. That's low. I don't want to take away from Chimp Spanner here. Like, I know I mentioned that Dan is like the primary force, but he's fucking killing it, the instrumental. That like groovy, low-tuned gent rhythm is just so fucking sick. I feel like we're gonna get like quite chunky still. I think there will be a breakdown in the song. Kind of lost the lyrical context because I've been just grooving out to it. Again, some of the notes just reminded me of Tesseract, like Sirens by Tesseract in the last album. Maybe not heavy. You can hear that lead guitar come back in. Big wall of sound, atmospheric ending. Little pinch harmonic in there, I heard it. Another one. That tone is tight, man. Okay, that is the second song. But you know what? I kind of have to like that, man. That crescendo was great. That outro reminded me of the Jaded Mantra outro. I hope they have a moment in this album that like really, really leans into like a big fucking belted out scream vocal, because so far with Moonlight, we have that like big kind of crescendo with Dan screaming and all the band and the instruments coming in at the same time. But it like lasts like no more than 10 seconds. It's kind of like a sharp little burst. So I'm hoping that we get like a big fucking moment in this album. Again, it won't like make or break anything. I just personally would like something like that just to let the vocals rip. But yeah, that was another fun song. I kind of lost the lyrical context of that one. I don't know if that one... I'd imagine there's probably going to be like different themes sprinkled in and out. That one was obviously a little bit more about jealousy. I'm not going to go too deep because I'll be here all day, like diving into all the different concepts, but I'll try and keep an eye on it. Again, sometimes I lose it a little bit. I'm not here to like fully break down the lyrics. There's other channels that are better at doing that. I'm more so here to just enjoy the music and see how it makes me feel. But obviously on the way, I will be listening to the lyrics because they can help to make you feel the music a little bit more, especially when you're familiar with the concept. So, Phantom. Wasn't the biggest fan of the chorus in that one. But I really enjoyed the instrumentals in that one. It sounds quite dark, almost like we're going to get some kind of bendy Thal riff. Bow, wow, wow. I can almost hear that in my head. Not far off, the little bend. It's cool, man. I love hearing this modern sound with Dan involved. Little vocal effect on this just to make the songs feel a little bit more varied. It actually kind of reminds me of Asava a little bit. Silent Planet-esque here. Very cool, man. Breakdown, hit me. Sick. Hearing a little bit of like spirit box in this as well. Some of the guitar work. Even the like digital production on the vocals. Man, this is a fucking cool. This is like a breath of fresh air. Because again, it's so familiar with Dan's vocals, but it's like a completely different context. I love some of the sound design. Everything just sounds so full and fresh. But yeah, I like that Phantom track. Heavy as fuck. Kind of cool to see, like, because I know Spirit Boxer have been on record, like Mike Stringer is massively inspired by TesseracT's as a musician. And now hearing, you know, Dan in a project that seemingly is maybe slightly taking some inspiration instrumentally from Spirit Box with some of the like pick scraping and just the real down-tuned guitars. Lovely ebb and flow to this so far. Nothing jarring about it at all, like in moments where it might be just like prolonging a certain sound. A lot of variety. The synth in the background kind of sounds like video game menu music or something. Just I can imagine some kind of like sci-fi game having something like this. Pretty cool. Oh shit. So far, I could happily listen to this album through all the way, but just for honesty's sake, I'm not going to add that one to playlist. I didn't love that one as much as some of the other ones, but I do think that outro was pretty fucking sick. This is so different again. I love that melody. This kind of sounds Bring Me. Kind of a hyper pop feel to it. This is good vibes. Okay, that's fucking different. Slightly, a few key differences there, I think, from the initial one, possibly. Okay, again, very on the nose. Like, if you understand the concept, you can kind of make out what Dan is saying here. This part made me a bit emotional. Just the meandering vocal melodies there, just kind of... There's like an uplifting, hopeful feel to this one. Oh, I like that shift out there. This is going to be a big outro. I can feel there's just so much building on this. It's like a conversation back and forth between the two versions of him, I guess, is kind of how I'm interpreting this. It's kind of a similar thing conceptually, like the War of Being with Tesseract. Little slides there, cool transitions again. I like the transitions in this song from the guitar. The doom. Do you think you're giving in to me too soon? You chose to run through life, but the flames still... Such an operatic vocal delivery in moments. So unique. Wow. Okay, I like that song. I really like that song. That one got me a little bit choked up again, like I mentioned in the intro. Tesseract have been one of, if not my favorite bands over the years. Like, I mean, statistically, they are my most listened to band on Spotify. So I guess if you want to like go by numbers, then they are my favorite band. I've spent the most time with them. Now, obviously, they've had different sounds over the years. They had the Alter State album with Ash, which I spent a lot of time with. I absolutely fucking adore that album. But Tesseract in general just mean a lot to me. Obviously, they're one of the first bands in the kind of progressive metal space that I really fell in love with. And I guess the rest is history. And they've definitely shaped a lot of my music taste, and like in terms of like, you know, loving gent music. And their new era is definitely, you know, something I really fucking enjoy as well, because it's less like genty and more like atmospheric, massive, like progressive masterpieces. They can still fucking throw down, like obviously the title track War of Being, the intro track Natural Disaster, but they have songs like Sirens, which just really choke me up. So beautifully emotional. So this is kind of like in moments reminding me of Tesseract that I've heard over the years. And, you know, a lot has happened over the past couple of years with, you know, not only the channel, but my own personal life as well. So there's definitely like a lot of moments where all of a sudden I just kind of, there'll be like a certain note that Dan might hit, or even like some of the guitar work that will just all like kind of trigger a memory or something. And you kind of think about all the things you've gone through over the past couple of years and how crazy this journey has been. And this whole, like, you know, not only my own life personally, but just even with YouTube, and, you know, things have been going great recently, even with like Download Festival, where again, this all just started in my parents' box room, like a fucking, like it's literally like the size of this corner of the room here. And I was just sitting in there and discovering new music for the first time. And little did I know, like fucking God knows how many years later, you know, I'd be able to be doing this for a living and having the best fucking time of my life doing it. So there's definitely moments in this where I kind of like get a little bit choked up, or even just like the goosebumps come out and I get a little bit emotional. Because again, music means a lot to me, and Tesseract mean a lot to me. And I know this isn't Tesseract, and I don't want to keep harping on, because Jim Spanner's doing an incredible fucking job here. Like, I can't help but like notice some of the nuance of the guitar work, simple stuff like just some of the slides into the transitions, just like really making everything so buttery smooth to let Dan go off and do his thing. And I think Jim Spanner would even agree on that. Like, obviously he's working with Dan. I'm sure he'd definitely agree with me. Like, Dan's vocal ability is incredible. But yeah, it's just, it's definitely, there's definitely some moments in there that I get a little bit like choked up, because it's, again, like, I mean, you follow the musicians as well personally over the years, and Dan's been like, I'd like to call Dan a friend at this point, like, which is surreal, because I remember when I first started getting into Tesseract and I was watching some of his live streams and some of his like VODs that he did over the pandemic and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this guy's so fucking cool. And now it's like, we've had him on the podcast, we stay in touch, we talk, and it means a lot. You know, I like to see that he's doing well and he's progressing through his life. And I'm sure he'd say the same about me. Like, he's been open about, like, you know, being very proud of where we've all come from with, like, again, being in my parents' box room and reacting to Tesseract, to growing up. Like, I mean, I've kind of grown up online as well, which is kind of crazy. And vice versa. We've seen Dan go through many different stages, and, you know, he's put himself out there musically, which a lot of people can really connect with. So yeah, if there's moments where I get choked up, that is the reason. But that was a beautiful song. Loved it. Let's keep going. Breaking Benjamin vibes again. Hollowed streets all fell away one by one.
Don't think about it, don't raise suspicion. There's a sea of ice in motion. I can't look away. I have a feeling
It's very...
I am the wanted.
What song is that? What Breaking Benjamin song is this?
Blind emotion.
Is it Blow Me Away? No.
And I'll never escape. Don't think about it, don't raise suspicion. There's a sea of ice in motion. I can't look away. I have a feeling that I am the wanted. I am divided. I succumb to blind emotion. I can't see a way.
Oh!
And I'll never escape. If you show me the way, I'll never let go.
It has Breaking Benjamin vibes.
So give me what I need. The bitterness inside of me is blinding. If you show me what I can't see, I'll never let go. These wasted days, one of a kind. I'll stay in, I'll never let go. I must wait still find
Ooh!
one of a kind. Soon to be over, I'll never let go.
No words, man. Okay, fellas, chill the fuck out. Let's go on playlist. I don't even need to hear the rest of the song. It's like fucking Dan has like a basketball and he's like spinning it through his legs and shit and doing all these crap, and then he just fucks it to Chimp Spanner, and Chimp Spanner just doing his own. Like, they're just riffing back and forth. So cool. But Dan's vocal acrobatics there, man. The amount of techniques that he just squeezed into like a couple of bars is insane. There was like falsettos, the grittiness, the little runs. I'd imagine if you're a vocalist and you understand these techniques, you're probably fucking pooing your pants with how cool that was. I can just appreciate it from like a sonic standpoint. It sounds incredible, but like over the years I've understood the techniques a little bit more and just how impressive that is. Little like sub bass.
Don't think about it, don't raise suspicion. There's a sea of ice in motion. So is it not enough to reveal a part of me? Then cut it up. Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. Is it not enough?
they're definitely tuned in a very similar tuning to some of Remy or to some of Breaking Benjamin's tunings. Maybe that's why. And then just like the actual chords that are being played in the chugs. And then just some of the like the grit in Dan's voice is definitely giving me Ben from Breaking Benjamin vibes in that one. But I've heard this song. This was the first single, which I'm interested to hear again in the context of the album. Strangely, it doesn't have lyrics, even though some of the non-singles do. But yeah, this was my introduction to Prince of Failure, and most people's introduction to Prince of Failure. This is the Daedric feature, which is actually a really tasteful feature, especially in this part of the album, just to add another layer of dynamic into it. Yeah, I really like this song. Oh, I love this verse, man. It's the bubbly synth underneath it. You're just... It's like a cloud lifting down along. Also, again, cool dynamic to have a feature to almost like represent the other part of the struggle, I guess, is probably how they're going for. I love this harmony here. And the bubbly synth coming back in. I love the like muted chugs and just occasionally letting one of the notes just ring out. Creates this real industrial, gnarly sound. Gang, 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 gang. Just that note there. Yeah, that sounds fucking sick. That combination of notes, it's like a big chord. And occasionally a note let ring out. That sounds so good, man. Again, being such a big fan of like modern metal and the sound that encompasses everything that is modern metal, this is so up my street. Just that fade out. Bam, 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 bam. And I know fade outs are a little bit like controversial, but I think that makes perfect sense, especially when it fades into a interlude segment, which we're in now. It's kind of like intentionally slowing the pace down, and then we kind of stop, breathe, continue. Final quarter of the album. But I just looked at Phantom was the video single that they released with the release of the album, so I might have to go back and listen to Phantom again, because obviously that was a choice to put that out as a video. So they obviously... Now I did like it, it's in the playlist, so it makes sense, I did enjoy it. But I was trying to think like which one stands out as the big single. Seamless transition. There's a contrast here. That rhythm guitar is dark, but there's something that's giving it an uplifting... It's like a vocal... This could go either way. We could break down or we could go up. Which again, makes it unpredictable, which means it's fun. Because your brain is constantly active. You don't just like zone out, I know what's going to happen. It's constantly keeping you on your toes. Title track and artist name. Dream Stealer mentioned again. Wow. Still going. Hello, Jacob from Thornhill. It's like Deftonesy as well. Oh, yeah! That is fucking low tuned. They're going back to the kind of that they had in the intro track. That was very Deftones-esque. I think a little bit more Thornhill, maybe just with the overall like sound of the guitars. It was a little bit more modern, punchy sounding, so it was a little bit more Thornhill, but I think Thornhill are definitely taking a lot of inspiration from Deftones, so I'm sure it's probably more Deftones leaning, but yeah, kind of cool, like new metal. Yeah, whoa, yeah. Okay, I didn't love the title track, I'm not gonna lie. Not bad. Might have to go back to that. But again, the album's been so easy to just listen to from start to finish.
I see
Cool.
You can't go on with this infectious biting. Won't you think about me? Don't think about me.
That's interesting. This is where no one can do this sound. That operatic approach is so unique. I'm hoping for something stupid heavy at the end of this song. I feel like they're kind of teasing it, but I don't know. I love that note. We're getting heavy. I'm seeing the lyrics. It has to go heavy. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. Let's go, chimp. We're gonna octave shift down. Darker. They're layered. Ooh. Okay. They kind of like, they edge it a little bit. They have like a particular like kind of formula with the breakdown of the heavy moments where it's kind of like 15, 20 seconds maximum. But looking forward to hearing this one again. Final track on the album, which makes a lot of sense considering what we've just heard. You know what? Give me a sec. I need to go to the toilet. I'm going to be honest. I need to go. So we're just going to have to hold on. Give me a sec. All right, I'm back. Let's continue. Again, thoroughly enjoyed this album, but like I said in the intro, if I hadn't heard this song, it's going to hit so much harder. So it kind of feels like the album ended at Heartless. Now, I understand that is just a me thing who's like keeping up to date with all of the new releases and singles, but if someone just checks this album out and listens to it from start to finish without the singles, this is a big fucking song. Like, this is a big moment, which I'm kind of jealous that they get to experience this song again, but I love this song.
Taste of you right inside.
It's kind of like an undeniably good single choice though, so I kind of get it. Like, of the songs that I did here, this probably makes the most sense as a single. So you kind of have to drop it as a single, but it just takes away in the album context, you know? so slick.
One look at you, your soft skin laid bare. You taste of despair and writhe in my mind. A tainted mind, searching for an open door. This reckless life and jaded corpse left to fall. My soul is yours, only yours.
Oh,
I'm the prince of fire. I'm the prince of failure. A tainted mind, searching for an open tainted mind, searching for an open door. This reckless life and jaded corpse left to fall. My soul is yours.
those double kicks. Yeah, part of me wishes that just really, this is what I mean by like, they kind of give you that final push and then just off. It's obviously a stylistic choice, but just the real fucking metalhead who wants real heaviness is a little bit edged. But look, it's a good problem to have. It's very fixable. Not even fixable. It's just a choice. And I'd personally love if they just continued it. But it's more so because of how much I'm enjoying it. I just love to loop it and extend that section. It's not because they're doing anything wrong. They're doing it perfectly, but that's almost the problem, is that it's so fucking well built. And then they only give you like they build for so long, and then the actual climax is like, right, over, next song. Very fucking good. As a the amount, I feel like I've been listening to a lot of really good debut albums recently. I know this is obviously a very established, or two very established and well experienced artists in their own right coming together. So it's not like it's a debut project, but just as of recently, there's been loads of fun debuts. But Prince of Failure by the Prince of Failure, debut album from Dan Tompkins and Chim Spanner. This has a lot of potential. I mean, I say that not to suggest that it's like, oh, it's not quite there yet. It's certainly there. This is right up my street. I mean, visually, again, look at the screen. It has 3, 6, 8 of the 12 songs. One of those is an interlude, so it doesn't really count. One of them was also an intro. So generally speaking, they're not really going to be in the playlist anyway. So all they've really missed on is track number 5, Fragile Crown, and track number 10, Prince of Failure. Now, they weren't necessarily bad songs by any stretch, but I just don't think they had a moment that really pulled me in as much as the others. But this is a very, very easy listening album from start to finish. Like, there's nothing about this that has like jarring segments in it that I want to skip past, which is a very good sign of a fucking great album. Now, I'm unfortunately very deep in the realm of Tesseract, and I find it quite hard to separate myself from bias here. I believe personally that I'm not being biased. I feel like I'm hearing it for what it is based on my own subjective music tastes. But I don't know, because again, I'm just so involved in the world of like Dan's side projects and Tesseract that I feel like maybe I can't even look at it objectively because I feel so emotionally attached to it. But I thoroughly enjoyed this album. Again, visually, it kind of passes the eye test as a really consistent album. The last 2 tracks are solid. They're on the playlist. Sometimes you can find that like albums maybe start really well and they kind of just peter off at the end. But this is a pretty fucking consistent album. I mean, in the middle of it, they've got a big chunk of songs, 3 songs there that are sick, 2 songs at the end, 3 songs at the beginning. It's a very consistent album from start to finish. Instrumentally, fantastic. I do still think that Dan is the star of the show here, and I think that's by design. Chim Spanner does a fucking incredible job of propping him up, and there is some really like fucking chunky moments. And maybe that's just because, again, I feel a little bit edged in some of the climactic moments of each song that does get a little bit heavy, that they only kind of give you a little bit of that. You know, they just tease you a little bit with the heaviness. They don't give you the full shebang. And even like vocally, there'll be like a scream moment that you'd love to just hear them like start octaving riffs down, you know, where it's like they give you the big first climactic moment and they just drop an octave and just go heavy again and like really start ramping up the heaviness of it. But that's never really been what any project that Dan has been involved in, I suppose. Like Tesseract aren't the heaviest band in the world, but maybe that's why I kind of like want that from this. I'm like, let's just go really heavy. Let's go like deathcore vocals and shit. But across the board, Dan's vocal performance is fantastic. This is really, really fun. Again, like I mentioned, it has like this feeling of nostalgia and this feeling of like being connected to it already without even like hearing it, because again, the Tesseract connection, it sounds like Tesseract because of Dan's involvement, but it has a fresh take on that sound with a lot of like interesting bubbly synths and moments in the verses in particular, and then also some like big kind of rock style choruses, very Breaking Benjamin-esque in certain moments in certain songs, which caught me off guard because I didn't hear that from the singles. I thought the inclusion of the feature from Daedric was quite nice. Again, that was a single, so I had some time with that. But overall, a very, very good album. I'm going to go over to Album of the Year and give this a rating that I haven't really thought about in my mind. I'm just thinking, I just forgot that we do the ratings. So I'm kind of thinking right now, I don't really see anything that I could fault this album for, which is why I feel like I'm struggling to separate myself from this. I genuinely don't think that there's much that I can fault this album on. It didn't feel too long. Like, I mean, that 45 to kind of 50 minute, even 40 to 50 minute runtime is always the sweet spot for me. I think sometimes 30 minutes to 35 can be a little bit short if the music is really, really good. But if it's really, really good, it can kind of leave you longing for more, which I think is also a good thing. This, I think, just about stayed the right amount of time. I think any longer than this, and maybe you'd start to like peter off and lose points. So I think like the actual composition of the entire album from start to finish and the runtime is pretty fucking spot on. There was no real lulls in the album that made me think that it should be dropping points. But I don't think there was any particular moments, again, because it loses a bit of steam with the Jaded Mantra, because I'd heard that. This is what I mean. If that was my first time hearing Jaded Mantra, I think I'd really have a different perspective on this. I'd be coming out of this like fucking amped up, like, holy shit, what did I just listen to? But because I'd heard it, it doesn't have that same impact. So I think I'm like maybe glad that I'd heard that already, because I can look at it more, because I'd probably be giving this like a 100 score, like a fucking perfect score if I just heard Jaded Mantra for the first time, because I'd be on such a high. So looking at it, I think it just does everything really fucking well. I don't think it really massively peaks out so much in certain moments that I can be like, oh, this is in the 90s. But it also doesn't really have any down moments at all. It's a really fucking consistent album from start to finish. Dan's vocals are fucking phenomenal. Again, as much as I think the instrumentals are absolutely incredible and they work so well in this context, I think some of the heavier moments, just because I'm so deeply involved in the modern metal space, they are, I don't want to say is derived. They're a little bit derivative of things we've heard before. I'm not trying to say that in a in a mean capacity. Like, I'm not trying to say that this is a bad thing. I'm just saying that because I've got my ear to the ground so much with all the like possibilities with like new sounds that are possible with the guitar, with all the pitch shifting, with all the different effects and stuff like that. I've heard all of this kind of thing before, but what made it interesting to me was that it's one of my favorite vocalists of all time in a new context. So as good as the instrumentals are, they didn't really do much to really make me like, oh my fucking God, this is so unique, which means it's not a bad thing. It's just that it makes it fall into that range of like a really upper tier album, but it's not in the like really upper echelon for me. But it has some fucking fantastic moments. And as you can see from the visual standpoint with all the liked tracks, I'm going to be listening to this quite some more times. Very easy listening as well. Like it's not like anything that you can, there's no abrasive moments that you have to skip through. You can start this and just let it loop like easily. So Prince of Failure for me is going to be, and I just want to make sure that this is kind of correct in my mind, because the ratings over the year can get a little bit confusing, because all of a sudden I'll have an opinion of this album, but then another album I gave like a much higher score, even though I might like this album more. And then I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But my brain is telling me that this is probably like between an 80 and an 83 album, which is a fucking high rating. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't know if it justifies going above the kind of like 84, 85 into the up to the 90s. So I'm going to go with an 83 as a debut album. The critic score is actually an 80, and the user score based on 11 ratings is a 69, which, okay, that's quite harsh in my opinion. But I'm going to go with an 83. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Some fantastic melodies in there. Incredible vocal performance. Rate 83. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What would you rate this out of 100? Let me know. Leave a like in the video. Make sure you're subbed. Go stream Prince of Failure. I'll leave the links in the description. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.